What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the live stream, the weekly live stream, Neomustangs, etc., etc. Went a few minutes early today. We just happened to have it set up. We were just ready to go. So welcome to the live stream. We do have a topic for the week. It is the 10 ways you can increase your Foxbody's value in 2022. Considering that Foxbody prices have been on the rise and on the decline, on whatever it feels like being that month, I guess. There has been a couple content creators been hitting on it pretty hard. We all actually talked about, Foxbody prices, and then we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves here today, and we're going to be talking about, the 10 ways that we can increase our Foxbody's, value. Ourselves here today. So, let me get some people in here, and then we'll get started here. Like I said, I apologize for going a few minutes early, but I was just sitting around waiting, so I figured we start talking some Sunday night Foxbodies. So what's up, Pimp? What's up, James? Pat Turchin? What's up, Stang Man? Leave it as stock as possible. What's up, Neo? What's going on, Rhea? What's up, Jason? Rich, how you guys doing? So anyways, we're going to talk about in 2022, we all know the Foxbody prices have spiked. We all know that they're on a bubble, just like mortgages, just like the inflation. Eventually, there's going to be a downward spiral to all that. And, Foxbodies, it's just one of many things that have went on a bubble, and, will it change? Who knows? I mean, but Foxbody prices have went up considerably because, I was watching the infamous project this past week, and he just did a video. Chris just did a video, and he made some very valid points. So if you're interested in checking that stuff out, I'm not just trying to steer you towards his channel, but actually that was a very informative video talking about is it on the decline, and this is why. So, and he mentioned something about it in the video, and I don't want to plagiarize his video, but he mentioned something in the video about, we were getting to the point to where, this mass hysteria of what was going on in the world, and everybody wanted to mess around with their projects and stuff at home. So, I don't know. Anyways, if you get a chance to check out that one, go check out his video. I can hear your Mustang. You can hear it? What's up, Adam? What's up, Jacob? What's up, Big Pump? So, anyways, I'm going to lead off. We're going to do the like top 10, but that's just kind of like, the start of the conversation. I want you guys to chime in as much as possible on what you think. This is a very open live chat, where we talk about, these things that these ideas I come up with on a Sunday. And we're going to sit back and we're going to chill for the stream, and we're going to talk about ways you can increase your Foxbody's values and some of the things that may be obvious, that maybe even mods for considered, that you could probably do pretty much on the cheap. And there's different ways about it that you can go and do some of these things to your Foxbody. Because I guess where I got the idea from, it's like, you go to buy a Mustang and you walk up to a Mustang and you're like, yo, this car's ragged out. You know what I mean? And, this is why. And some of the things that you see right off the jump, could be, anything from, trim to wheels to brakes. It's just, there's a lot of things you miss when you go to buy a Mustang. But, if you wanted to increase the value of your Mustang without actually just throwing a bunch of mods at it, there's some really good things that you could actually do. I'm glad I bought mine when I did shortly after the spike. Yo, that's a nice famous Foxbody in the back. It's all right. It's a good 10-footer, my man. I appreciate that, Torque. Better start hoarding those good Hey, look, four bangers, like, we had talked about that last week. I think we mentioned that Thrill Killer. And they four banger bodies, like the four banger, Mustang body shells or whatever, probably better than the V8 ones at this point, because they ain't had their ass kicked for 30 years. People dumping the clutches and spinning them around in circles and circles and circles and circles. What's up, Bama 50? Neo, I have a 92 Summer. Can you tell me the correct white should be used in the SEM? I mean, well, just go over to NPD. NPD's got that. It's like an off eggshell white, but they'll mention that in their NPD's got it in there. They're very informative. They got a lot of paint. How old are you? I'm 44. So what Pimp was talking about earlier, and I'm going to lead with this one. So the top 10 things we're going to talk about, ways of increasing your Foxbody value in 2022. The number one thing I'm going to start with is keep it as stock as possible. So if you're doing a resto, okay, like I keep talking about resto and resto mods. What's up, Donnie B? I keep talking about resto and resto mods because that's kind of where we're starting. Like, there are some very tasteful mods that you can do to increase the value of your Foxbody. And that's really pretty much what we're here to talk about. And some of the things that won't increase, some of the things that do increase, some of the things that really increase your Foxbody is things that are visual and things that are audible. So if you're looking to, if you're looking to spend your money correctly and spend your money wisely on your Foxbody, and you have to figure out where your goal is going to be. What's your end game? Like, oh, I just want to make a bunch of power. Okay. Well, if you want to make a bunch of power, then you're probably going to devalue your car. Much like my white Mustang, much like my black Mustang behind me, you start throwing a lot of mods at a car, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars on these cars, and you will never get that back out of it. We talk about rabbit hole all the time, and we talk about this, we hit around the same topic roughly when we're talking about the Foxbody prices and like today, the ways you can increase. We're going to hit it a little different. We're not talking about the actual prices of Foxbodies, but we're actually talking about some of the things that you can do to actually increase the value of it. So to me, the things that stand out the most, since we're in this genre, is keeping it as stock as possible. So when you start seeing, I guess where I come up with that is I was at Foxtoberfest, and there was a gentleman there who had two triple whites. And if you guys know what a triple white is, they actually made a triple black and a triple white convertible Mustang. And there wasn't a whole lot of them made, but they were, I think it was white top, white interior, white car, LX. And I think they still made the GT too. I think it was black top, black leather, black GT. So there was triple whites and triple blacks, and there's actually a registry for it. And they're a pretty famous convertible without being, specially built, like for a purpose, like the limiteds and the summers and stuff like that. But he had two white ones there, man, and it was just like, dude, those cars were absolutely beautiful. And I know if any of you guys that went to Foxtoberfest, you probably had to walk by these cars. They were absolutely amazing. And those are the type of cars that I'm talking about, increasing the guy increased the value of his car legitimately by changing the top, because the tops are all, bugged out, ripped. He even got the rear glass, the you know what I'm talking about, on the convertible. He did all the resto stuff as far as like, the seatbelt guides were always broken. And, he made sure that his convertibles, both him and his wife's, because I think it was a wife and a husband, they were meticulous about resto modding that. And I think the only thing they put on it was like an exhaust. You see what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? I live in the rabbit hole. Yeah, so don't I, brother. That's what I have, a four-banger converted 302 supercharged 6.9. Nice. Yep, I will never get what I spent. That's correct. What's up, NGI? What's up, Hanlon Motorsports in the house? Want to say hello to Hanlon Motorsports. They are one of the sponsors of the channel, as you can see right there, hanging up on the garage. But yeah, keeping it as stock as possible is actually a really good start to this this live stream, because like, you could really get into valuing your Foxbody if you actually went into like a resto mod. And for those of you who don't know what a resto and a resto mod, a resto, like a restoration thing, would be like a numbers matching. I think that's how this goes. The E7ZB, the F0ZB, all the stuff matchings for that car, even the motor. You start getting into the like whole restoration part of it. And then the resto moddings where you have like exhaust and camshaft, and you still have like most of the stock car, but you have like wheels and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I mean, I think that's the era we're actually living in, to be honest with you, is is keeping the car stock. It's just like there's something to be said. Perfect case scenario. I'm just going to throw it out there. He's probably watching. I don't know if he is or not, but you know, Caleb's dad's car. You guys watch Foxcast Media. You've known him long enough that you know what Caleb has done to his dad's car, you know, versus my dad's car. Like I went like down the rabbit hole with my dad's car. We're pushing limits that were never thought that could be pushed with the speed density stuff. And, you know, and then you look over at Caleb's dad's car. And it was like his car is meticulously put together and, you know, and he continues to make the car better, but he's actually restoring that car to its former glory. Like literally, I'm pretty sure, and I could probably speak for this, pretty sure like as a restoration, like numbers matching car, you know what I mean? And there's something to be said about that. You know, he had the car repainted. I mean, if you follow his channel, you know what I'm talking about, but that car's value is just going to skyrocket because it went through the whole modification era and then it came back and now it's coming back to its complete stock area again. And there's something to be said about that. And it's a long travel to go back and forth. But keep it simple and clean. What's up, Bill Pace? I personally don't own one to make money. Well, that's not really here what I'm talking about. You know, it's not really an investment thing. But here's the thing. You know, you never know one day. We can't take this stuff with us. You know, you never know one day that your car might be valued at a certain thing. And if anything, you know, you want your car to be valued, you know, the most you could possibly think in anybody's eyes. So like when they walk by your car and they see it and there's just this number that pops in your head, just like, wow, that's a 10 out of 10 car, man. That thing's probably worth 20 grand. You see what I'm talking about? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. That's for this live stream is the stuff that can increase your car's value. Like if somebody randomly was walking by it and saying, hey, that car is really nice. Man, that's a 9 out of 10, man. That thing probably, I'd give 15 or 20 grand for that. You see what I'm talking about? So I try to dance that line between stock and adding performance. And there's nothing wrong with that. And one of the things that I always preach, and I've been preaching this for a very, very long time. If you're going to modify your car, especially if you have a car that's like a feature car, like a limited car, Cobra, Celine, whatever you do to this car, keep its original parts. It's very, very, very important that the car stays with its parts. Like, I get it. Like, well, Dan, I mean, if I can get some of my money back from buying it, then I'm never going to use those parts. Trust me, your car, that's my number 2 thing I'm going to talk about. Your car would be worth, no matter how much you mod the car, okay? No matter how much you mod the car, your car would be worth more money if you kept its original parts and just left them in a corner. I know it takes up space and shit. I get it. But, you know, if you had the original motor, if you had the original interior, if you had the rear seats, if you had the brackets and the bolts, because that tells somebody at some day and age that wants to resto mod or wants to restore the Foxbody that, hey, it's not going to be that bad of a deal putting it back to stock or putting it the way I want to put it, which is mostly stock, and he's got all the parts sitting right here. See what I mean? So they don't hunt for it. Nobody wants to hunt for that anymore. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I mean, to each their own. What the sentimental value of Foxbody means as far as personal price preference. So that's one of the problems with Foxbodies themselves is the sentimental value. Sentimental value can't be priced. There's cars that I will never, ever, ever get rid of. I mean, I'll never get rid of the black car. I'll never get rid of the white car. Dad's car is dad's car. That's not going anywhere. So I'm stuck with those Foxbodies in forever. I mean, this car is going to rot behind me. It's going to rot behind me. I just refuse to get rid of it. I have way too much time and sentimental value. So there's something to be said about that for sure. Opinion on real leather interior match to factory. What do you mean by that? Yes, sir. Never throw any of your parts away. Listen, don't sell them. Don't throw them away. If you take them off, just put them in a corner. I've even gone as far as buying another motor and put the original motor away so it's not damaged. Wow. That's crazy good. So, unless you got a forged motor port, okay, you said it. Okay. So, like some of the things that you can do to increase your car's value exponentially is keeping its stock parts when you modify it. That's probably my number one, dude. I mean, for sure, all day long. Like I split this car's block. It's sitting over there in pieces. It's part of my wall art. And the original transmission that was in this was long gone before I got it, because this had a Z-spec in it. We all know that ain't no Cobra, bro. Even though it's on the title, it's not a Cobra. You know, it's the original interior is titanium. I replaced all the interior of my black car to black interior. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even know where the K member's at. Like, forget it. So to bring this car back to its original glory, man, that ain't never happening, bro. But, you know, it's kind of the point that you get to a car, you're just like, yeah, well, I'm married to this car at this point. If you're going to build one, why not build another one and save the original? That's correct. That's correct. There's plenty of bodies out there that, you know, one of the problems, though, I agree, you know, I agree with that GS, but one of the problems that is just people just get to the point to where, you know, well, you know, they don't want to do a lot of, there's a lot of people that don't want to do a lot of work. I mean, there's like floor pans, like there's plenty of good, you know, good Fox bodies out there that just need towers and floor pans. They're not that difficult to replace. It's just, it's the work. It's just like, it's the things that we keep talking about on these channels. You know, we talk about it, you know, I know Nakia talks about it all the time. Just get it done. You know, the paint, you know, the restoration, floor pans, torque boxes, all that stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be erased. It doesn't have to go 8s. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy. My wife goes before the car. Does she know that? Okay. Let's say you have a Foxbody seats dash console, but the most top-notch tin leather that money can buy, and the color match back to the original Vinco. I'm into factory stock. When I'm looking at Fox, I also look for a patina. That's right. So one of the things that I got in my black car back here is the original paint. Now, there is nicks and dings all over my car. You know what I mean? Like, all up in the door here. There's chipping the paint there. Chipping the paint there. I got some rust starting back here. Right here in this lip. My door thing, my door trim's starting to peel. I got my door handles are starting to mess up. It is what it is, man. So these are things like when you're actually wanting to increase the value of your car, you know, and that's here right here on my list. You know, it's door handles and weather stripping. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to take this roof trim off, even though I haven't done it, and take this mirror off, and even take this off and paint this and your quarter windows. You see what I mean? So it's not a whole lot of effort to do all that stuff, and it would increase your car's like value exponentially. You know, and let's just say you're doing it. We have to look at this whole live stream like we're trying to resell the Foxbody. You know what I mean? I picked up my first Fox 4 years ago, and it wasn't original, so I have been modding it up. I picked up 2 more in the past 2 years that are all original cars. Those will not get modded. So I did want to mention that a buddy of mine, Brandon Burns, he's actually was in the videos where one fixes the other. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I ended up selling him a shell, and he ended up putting a Coyote swap in it, whatever, and I ended up getting his shell, if you guys remember that. It was a really nice red car, but it was hit so hard on the side. Just too much money would have been in just to make it half straight. So its parts and its K-member and all that stuff, all of its sheet metal went to save, you know, other cars. Long story short, he has an, what is that? A dark shadow gray. What is that? It's a 2-tone car from like 88 that he bought for like $4,500 after he had wrecked the car. And I remember him saying the same thing. I mean, his car is absolutely untouched mod wise, and he never modded it at all. And it's worth so much more money right down to the factory bolt versus having it like modded. But I guess if you were going to mod a car, that's what we're here to discuss. Don't put an LS in it. Come on, dog. LS. No way. What's up, Edgar? Got to hit up Fox Wrestling for quarters. They left my coop looking. Yeah, they Fox Wrestling does a really good job. Matt does a really good job out there to restore quarter windows. Yeah, you guys remember the quarter window things that LMR was selling? They were like plastic, like glue-on shit. Oh, those were so gaudy and ridiculous. Oh, that should be on a no-go list. You know what else should be on the no-go list that we had is one of them stupid. Unplug the camera. We good? Do the coops rust in the shock tower, or would they say the majority of the coops are taken care of? It doesn't matter what Mustang it really is, GT, hatchback, or whatever. Is it still frozen? Is it fuzzy? Just sent over my drive shaft measurements to handle 42 inches and 1/8. Your video was pretty much spot on. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I got the I think Edgar hit me up on, what's up, War Admiral? Anyways, Edgar hit me up on Instagram asking me about the measurements of the T56 pivot ball, and I had it wrote over here, and I have the measurements for the T56 drive shaft in a Foxbody. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I know there's a little bit of variance there, but it's not enough to, it's not enough to, 42 inches is it, from U-joint to U-joint. Danny Kramer kept them in the stock location. Their K-members set the arms forward so they're matched the rear offset. Okay. Little fuzzy. Don't know why, if it's my fault. Okay, hold on. I'm going to unplug the camera, put it back in. Good? It's a rush. Yeah. It should be fuzzy now. You should be good to go, right? Cool. So, yeah, what happens is when it decides it likes the buffer, then it makes it fuzzy. So just keep an eye on it, guys. I don't have the best internet out here in the garage, but it is what it is. I know, stupid question. What are you talking about? Anyone else start mowing the lawn yet? Nope. You plan on going to Fort Taco? If so, how many? You plan on race? Any plans to race? Yes. Yes, I'm going to Fort Takeover, and yes, I plan on racing. I'll probably be just straight up on the line, man, to be honest with you. Just hanging out at the line for the most part. So, anyways, increasing the value of your car, stuff like headlights, taillights, going back to what we were talking about, weather stripping, door handles, door hinges, just the pity stuff, you know, the little pity pat, you know, the dew strip, the quarter windows. Restoration is everything on these Foxbodies, and even the little things that, I mean, those things don't even cost money. You know, this little, you know, taking your mirrors off and you know, just restoring your trim, like your front window trim, your rear hatch trim, your sidewell trims on your convertible. You know, those are all like super important. And of course, you know, painting, you know, paint's everything. Like unless it's an original patina color and it's in really good shape, you know, if you decide to start painting your car. What's up, Anthony Conley? So yeah, it's, you know, increasing the value of your Foxbody is, I mean, legitimately, every time we mod one of these cars, that's, you know, that's always a, you know, a no-brainer. So like, what's the things that we like to talk about? You know, the looks of it, the sound of it, and you know, I think a good paint, good wheels, maybe a camshaft. You know, I'm a big headlight guy, even though I've got these stupid Euro headlights on. You know, I'm a big taillight headlight guy. So, I mean, it's just the looks factor. I got to like the car, like Cobra R's or some sort of, you know, aftermarket wheels, the stance. I mean, and you can do a lot of that stuff without like even like free. You know, I got coilovers in the black car year, but like before I used to have the stock K member, and then we cut the front springs and we cut the rear springs, and it was really good. Brutus said your car is slow. I guess y'all gonna have to race. I don't think he said that. Yeah, be careful with restoring your trim. That's correct, because it's very, very, very flimsy. What would you price the white car or your black one? That's a good question. I repaired my door dingers that made it seem newer. Okay. Intake dyno compared. Just put the Holley Skyram intake on it. Done. Hang on, I'm trying to catch up on some of these. When is the intake dyno comparison? I can't find the Cobra, the original Cobra upper. Y'all got a Cobra upper? I'll do a. You know, I have no problem taking, you know, taking it in on consignment or whatever. I give you money and then you can give it back to me, so you get your intake back. But I'm looking for an upper Cobra, OE93 Cobra intake, because a buddy of mine, Sean, has a upper on a tubular. So we had talked about, you know, he's going to let me borrow the upper itself, and I was going to swap it and put it on Dad's car, and then I was going to swap the Cobra and do it all in one big dyno video. It'd be a little shootout. You see what I mean? But I can't find a Cobra upper. So going back to the question at hand, what would you price your black car and your white car at? With all the mods I got in it, probably like 25 or 30 grand. Keep in mind, it's a $7,000 transmission swap in there that I've got 7K in both of them, if not more, in the white car, because it's faceplated. You know, I got 8 or 10 grand in each motor, because they're both, one's a 408 and the other one's a 363. I don't know. I would probably never sell them. I mean, I got 2,500 in each axle. Just, it's too much. It's just, there's a lot of sentimental value here, so I probably could never really get rid of it. We have an upper. Let us know. All right. I would definitely like to borrow that, Edgar. That's for sure. And if you guys don't know who 650 Motorsports is, he's featured on another content creator's channel. Pretty reputable Foxbody channel too. I think I could say that. And he does a lot of work on Foxbody. So he's out there in Cali. So if you guys are in the West Coast, I want you to check him out. You know what I mean? He does show up and get featured in, you know, a lot of content. He does a lot of Terminator X tuning. So if you're out in the West Coast, it's somebody to go to. 650 Motorsports. So shout out to him for sure. Can you polish side mirror glass? Driver is scratched. You can polish some of that for sure. Somebody had a Cobra intake. I think it was on Funky 50's live chat. He actually sent me a text message, asked me if I wanted to buy it. And I would have bought it, but kind of beat me to it. The Mike Straminsky, man, coming in with the super chat. Been painting my girlfriend's car, devaluing the shit out of it. The 3 weeks now, almost done. Dude, I appreciate the super chat and supporting the channel, man. That's what it's all about right there, guy. It helps me to do the things that I do with Dad's car, the dyno, and the braking stuff, and the braking of more stuff. So I don't think paint. I think if there was one thing that would probably value your Foxbody the most, it would be paint. So what, Mike, you were doing? Like, and you guys all follow Brutal. You guys know what I'm talking about, man. You know, if there was something, if there was one mod that you could do to your car that would increase its value tenfold. Now, I'm not telling you to take your restoration or your resto mod and its original paint and go off the crazy end and start painting it. I'm talking about a car that's got some weather in it, that's got some clear coat missing, some dings and some scratches. You know, painting is very forgivable, especially if you could just simply just go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and you can follow some of these guys and just all day, every day, just start blocking your car out. And it's not really all that difficult. I think a good paint job would probably be the most cost-effective value you could do on any Foxbody, especially if you had to, you know, if you have the ability to do it on the budget. You know, some things you just leave to professionals. But I'm going to be honest with you, the only way I learned how to, you know, paint or even half-fast paint was just doing it myself, man. Just getting out in the garage and you know, buying some cheap ass sandpaper from from AutoZone or whatever. You know what I mean? I just started sanding, man. Started sanding. Started learning how to block. Started learning how to, you know, I forget what they call that coat. You know, like guide coat. You know what I mean? Start learning how to do that. And see, you know, start working out my dings and how to mix Bondo. You know, how to mix filler. You know, or whatever you know. It's not all that difficult. But I think if there was the #1 mod outside of keeping it stock with its stock parts, if you start modifying it, would be paint. Because it ain't nothing shines like paint, man. You know, even with pony wheels, if you got a shiny car, somebody's gonna pay attention to that. What up, Treetop Tom? Hey, I want to make a big shout out right now to all my guys in green. They are my club members. It's the join button below, the monetization tag, whatever you see at the bottom of the chat or whatever. It's on all my channels or all my videos. The join button helps to keep the channel rolling, and everything goes back into the channel. So I want to say shout out to Treetop Tom and all the other club members that are here in chat, man. I appreciate everybody for what they do. What's up, Neo? Do you use Chassis Saver paint? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Chassis Saver paint is absolutely amazing. Just, I mean, the hardest part about restoring your Foxbody underneath is getting all the shit off of it. Like back in the 80s and the early 90s, and it brings a smile to my face, there was a company called Z-Bart. And Z-Bart literally, like, it was like an undercoating, right? It was like oh man, I still got Z-Bar all over the bottom of my white car, and it's like this tar. And it's, if you're gonna restore a car and you want to get your Foxbody, if you want to make it like a rust time capsule where it's not gonna rot out and fall to the ground in 20 years, you know, doing Chassis Saver and painting the underneath, like rotisserie painting, which is very hard to do. Not really, but I mean, just getting it done. That's the best way to do it. But, you know, my car would never be show cars. I mean, they leak a little bit of oil here and there. As you can see on the ground. It is what it is. Let me catch up with comments here. I do not polish side views for experience. Okay. Donnie B, what's your budget? Yeah, there you go. You want to talk to Superchargers, talk to Donnie B. Shout out to him and Anderson Ford Motorsports. It would be cool if all three of your channels build a budget car for a drag shootout. Brutal, Foxcast, and yourself for Ford Takeover. That would definitely, listen, it's already bad enough, you know, Ford Takeover probably wouldn't be the event you would want to do that at, because Caleb is insanely overwhelmed, I would imagine, trying to just, like, to put a large scale event like that together takes years, months of planning. And then you got to have, like, I mean, you're the go-to guy to make that event pop off. So the last thing he probably wants to worry about is racing anything or a build off of anything in that event. So Ford Takeover would be cool to do that with, but it probably would, you know, Foxcast probably wouldn't want any more on his plate than he already has to do that. So it would be cool to do something like that, though. It would definitely be cool. What does the TKX swap cost? The same as the TKO swap. Just a better transmission. Explorer piston's good for boost, still about 15 pounds. Yeah, I give Brutal a lot of credit, man. He does. Listen, Brutal does really good paint, and he's very meticulous, but he's self-taught. If you follow his videos, he pretty much tells you that he follows all these other channels. And, you know, like, we all have our strengths, and, you know, we all have our things that could be better. Like, I am pretty good at painting, but, like, I don't know a lot about, you know, the guns and the settings or whatever. I just spray it and then I cut it and buff it. And that's pretty much the extent of it. Like, you know, Brutal got into all that guide coat and that perfect mirror glass look, and he's good at it. And he's been doing that on his channel for a long time, man. That's not the first videos. I'm getting really interested in learning to paint. That would be awesome. Listen, I'm telling you. Painting is probably the #1 thing. And Mike was just talking about it, you know, just a minute ago with his super chat. He's painting his girlfriend's car. I think painting is the #1 mod that you could do to your car, and nobody really likes to do it, but that's why it's probably the #1, not mod, but the value increaser. And keeping it its factory color too. That's a big thumbs up right there. War Admiral. Good paint will cost more than that. Yeah, not all paint jobs are created equal. So that's what you kind of get into. So like War Admiral and his coupe and you know, some of the other really, really nice cars that you see on Instagram, they probably got 10K in their paint. And, you know, they're very meticulous, but that's okay because that's the way they want their cars. Not everybody has the time. You know, we talked about that a couple live streams ago. Time was probably the #1 things that'll keep your car on the jack stands, right? So some people can make the money, but don't necessarily have a lot of the time to go out to their car and, you know, in the garage and start blocking, sanding it and breaking it down. You know what I mean? So Foxcast Media in that silver car, SN95, inspired me to paint. Nice. What's up, Smurfit? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, mine was 10K. Tell my don't tell my War Admiral got yeah, it's insane. But listen, War Admiral's got a lot more than just paint in this car. I mean, he's got a one-off diffuser. I think he told me he had in the back. I mean, his interior's got a ton of money in it too. You know, KSD Notch got it. You know, Kenny Sean. I mean, his car is the same way, man. I mean, I keep talking about these coupes because they're very meticulously built and they're clean. It's super, super clean. And, you know, their cars are valued that you could never put a value on that because that's not only just sentimental value, but that's, you know, that's meticulous. That's perfection, you know, and that's what we all want to get to, right? You know, well, for the most part, we want to be like, for me, I want my car to look as nice as possible, but I don't want it to be too nice because then I'll be, you know, I won't want to like race it or anything. So, you know, I want it to look good. You know, I'm happy with, you know, and everyone's got their own different goals with their Fox bodies, right? But I want my Fox body to look good. It doesn't have to look perfect. And, you know, I want my car to be fast. You see what I mean? And it was always my goal to do that. I painted my 89 JYM to paint my 91 Phoenix. What Bama say? Brutal is a damn good guy. That's correct. He's pretty down to earth. I know him. Like I said, and he says it on his live streams. We talk pretty much on a daily basis. Sometimes we'll go a week without talking, so it's not like it's a big deal. I'll text Caleb back and forth. Matter of fact, I just text him. There was a mimosa yellow car on Facebook, and it was meticulously good. It was so nice. Did you guys see that car? It was like 15 grand in Texas. It was a sand beige, tropical yellow 89 coupe, 505 speed. And I about bought it. But I mean, that car would do what? Just sit in my driveway? Man, I wish I had millions. I could buy all the good Foxbodies I wanted. Okay, let me get back into questions. Brutal has a nice, wise, smart, and good. That's right. I agree. Look good, but I don't want it to be. That's right. So I got a little bit of different goals. I want my car to look as good as possible without being afraid to drive it. You see what I mean? I without being afraid to say, hey, I nicked it or dinged it or whatever, and I just take it over to the body shop, or I'll block it out myself and fix it. I mean, that's why my car is a 10-footer. It looks really good. It still is. I mean, it's straight. It's not, doesn't have any like, fisheye or tiger striping or anything in it. But, it's original paint. So it's very old. Mine's got scratches here and there, but in the end of the day, it's a street car. I agree with you. I agree with you. Sorry I'm late. I was finishing my 355 install. Nice. Yeah, I'm from Connecticut. It seems everything on the other side of, on the other state, Cameron Foxbody Club. Okay. 15K is cheap for that car. Did you see it? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's probably gone now. I'm sure it is. But it was in Texas. It was super, super nice. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like the tan interior, but I really like the tan interior. They actually made tan tweed. I think it was in convertible only. I want to say it was in convertible only. I seen it once. They never made blue tweed, which would have been cool. I thought it would have been cool. But like the tan tweed looks really good. You guys would be impressed. But I think it was in an 89 or something. Where did I see that at? Have a good night, Jenny. Good to see you. Yes. So what I plan on doing with the, we'll get back to what we were talking about with the values, because I actually got a little bit of a list here. What I plan on doing with the white car is making it more streetable. It's not a race car, but, I've been racing the piss out of it for the last couple of years. But it's still full weight, full interior as much as my black car. So we plan on bringing the black car down to get painted. We're going to start blocking the black car out, and we're going to take it over and get it painted. Paint it ourselves, whatever. But we got to take it apart. You got to take the bumpers and the hood, and there's a whole bunch of body work that needs to be done with the little nicks and the chips and all the shit that happened over the years with racing it or whatever. So we're going to probably take the white car to Chocolate Fox and most likely Foxtoberfest. So we're going to make it, I think we're going to buy some wheels. Might buy some black NVX wheels. I'm not real sure. My car's tan, and it's hard to get interior parts for an 87 LX. That's right. I can see that car right there. What's going on, Brad for Rides? Good to see you. What's up, Lamar Richardson in the house? Carlos Rivera, good to see you. Good to see you guys. One of my top tier guys right there on the membership. Dude, I appreciate you. Robert Mustang, if we are talking strictly value, does the car having all original paint, nice paint? Yes. So, like I said, with the stock appearance stuff, if you got a Fox body, I mean, to increase the value of the Fox body, if it needs repainted, painting it back its original color not only could save you some money from having to spray in the jams or whatever, but, making it really nice again, would definitely increase the car's value. Because if you look at a car and you're going to buy a Fox body, and I bought enough of them that, hey, it's been resprayed. but it's resprayed the original color, then that's kind of like a big plus, a big thumbs up when it comes to buying a Foxbody, because then you're like, oh, okay. So they probably just repainted it because it was dull. I mean, I got clear coat peeling on all of my cars. Well, the black car. What's up, James from Georgia? What's going on? If anyone showed up on the dyno for your turf, would you video them? Probably. I mean, there's a lot of Foxbodies that come up to TI dyno. Kevin does, he does tune a lot. Most of them know who I am. We're going to be doing a dyno day. Have you tried MPD? Yes. Oh, you're talking about the pieces, or you're talking about the color? But yes, MPD's got a lot of good stuff. So increasing the value of your car, stock appearance, paint is always a big one. Headlights, taillights, tires and wheels. There's something to be said about restoring your own pony wheels. Does it make it look right? Maybe not, but there's a lot of cool things you can do to a pony wheel to make it look more mainstream stance wise. But you could probably put a good half-inch spacer on the backside of a rear pony wheel to bring it more out to the edge here. You know what I'm talking about? To give it that cooler, wider stance. And then you could probably stick a 255 or I think 265 50/16 will fit on the back of a pony wheel. So there's some really cool stuff factory-wise that are very tasteful when it comes to like increasing the value of your Foxbody in 2022 if you had pony wheels to work with, etc. Get our money back. Big thumbs. Appreciate it. We all bought these cars to dump money into them. The last thing we're thinking about is getting our money back. Well, that's not really what I'm trying to tell you. You know, we're talking about increasing the value of your Foxbody doesn't necessarily mean that, in the end, everybody wants their Foxbody to be worth a lot of money in somebody's eyes, for the most part. If you're trying to do a little resto, street mounting or whatever. All right, Bama, we'll see you later. I'm out. See you later, bro. You should see 18 by 10 black ponies. Oh, they're that nice. Right. Well, my three, like I said earlier in the chat, OG, my three will never leave my family either. So I got way too much money in them. They're never going to go anywhere. But you still have to. We still, as Foxbody owners, we still have like a number in our head. Like, you want to keep as much value as possible. 5-lug swap disc, that's correct. So when you're 5-lug swapping a car, and that's a good one, because that's actually exactly what I was going to talk about next, Anthony. So Tony Conley is 1099 Tony in my videos, if you guys have watched some of that stuff. But 5-lug swapping is probably another one of the bigger mods that you could do outside of paint that would definitely increase the value of your Foxbody, not just sentimental wise, but just in the genre itself, because there's just way more five-lug wheels and stance options that you could do to your Foxbody at that point. So you guys seen my videos with the brake upgrade, the SN95 spindles in the front, even if you did the cheater rotors, which is what I do right here in my black car, swapping it over to 5-lug is probably one of the better, if not the most tasteful mods to do on a Foxbody to increase its value. So that's a good one, bro. How big of a fuel pump is too big for stock fuel lines? 340 is about all you want to go to. 340, a wired 340 will fill those rails until they're done. 89 GT, I wouldn't go past 3. That's exactly what I said. Not really. I mean, and that's a good point. That's a good point, because LMR is now selling a lot of the wheels in 4-lug value too. But for the brake option, it's not just, you don't really need them, but it's a very, very tasteful value mod. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you wanted to increase your, if you wanted to spend some money on your Foxbody, and it's, it's an investment and it's a sentimental value thing, swapping over to a 5-lug is always a good, is always a good thing. It's always, rear disc. I mean, you could put an SN95 axle in because it's pretty much a drop-in car, drop in the car and be done with it. But then you gotta convert your proportioning valve. I can tell you right now, you could put SN95 spindles on the front of the, like my black car behind me, and still run the drum brakes in the rear too. So thanks, Dan. Don, that's what, yep. So 340 is about all you want, 89. Yes. So, and we're starting to talk about some of the mods. These are some of the first mods you should be doing. Definitely tying the car up. Some of the harder mods that really suck to do, that are very good for increasing the value of the car, would be things like subframe connectors and torque box reinforcements. But, there are a lot of purists out there, Foxbody purists out there, that would probably say that, keeping it original, not with subframes, is also, you see what I mean? It's a sticky one. Sticky situation or whatever. So, okay. So what about engine swaps? So when you start talking about engine swaps, doing an engine swap in a Foxbody, in my opinion, is would you wouldn't lose any money. Like a Terminator swap, what's a Terminator? $5 or $6 grand for a motor. So you would just increase it in that much value, plus the way to, the wiring and the tuning. Same thing with the Coyote stuff. You're going to increase the value of the car because the swap has been done. See what I mean? And it's not an easy swap on any of them. And doing the torque box, like going back to the torque boxes, doing the torque boxes and welding them in, not just bolting them, but actually welding them in, doing the uppers and the lowers, anti-roll bars, a good set of subframe connectors. When that's already done on a Foxbody, it's a big thumbs up, because that requires a specific skill, like welding and such. And doing engine swaps, kind of the same thing. It requires like a specific skill. You got to have advanced, to put the motor in, you got to know what you're doing a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to know at least how to research it. But getting out there and doing it yourself is always the best. HCIs, well, the way I look at engine, like modifying the 302, HCIs are always good, but then it always comes up with the question. I don't know how many Foxbodies I've purchased that the guy said, oh, it's got a stroker motor in it. And then I take the motor apart and it's just a stock bottom end, or just a 30 over with cast pistons or something. You know what I mean? So it's tough to actually value motor stuff. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. It's tough to actually value like stock bottom end or, 302 motors with HCIs. I mean, obviously you can see the heads, you can see the intake, and you probably hear the cam, but, usually when you see an HCI swap, you might, when people started saying they got strokers in them and stuff like that, then it ends up being like a big lie. I'm not saying that always happens, but on a T-top or under mount enough to do or need to go through the floor, they'll probably be fine. Where we at? Take 6 out of 10 original paint over fresh paint all day. I know what's hiding. I got you. But you can probably buff that out and make it 8. We got nice interior is a huge plus. So I was just about to get into that. So increasing your value of your Foxbodies. Well, there's little tricks you can do. You got this, you got the console flip door. And one of the tricks that I do with the console flip door, because like half of the consoles are like broken at this point, is you could take the door and you could drill a hole like where there used to be like it used to ride on this little piece of plastic like the door did. It was terrible design. And you could actually drill through that and put like a rivet. And you don't have to put a big rivet, but you can actually rivet into the door. It's got the hole that used to, they were a terrible design. So it's like you could fix your door without actually having a spring with a rivet. Or you could one of the cool mods you can do that's pretty cheap is using the little poker cups. And you could mod your own little, cup thing, whatever, with the little center console. There's little cup things. So you can put them into the console itself and mold them in. You kind of do it yourself. Somebody sells them too. God, there's all kind of things in the interior. You can do the dim mod. 417 Fox, shout out to him, man. You can do the dim mod and switch all the radio stuff over. That's very tasteful. That's very tasteful because that's the point it's done. Ashtray, what do you got? Torque box, JPP. Torque box subframes, exhaust was done already on mine. That's huge, man. That's huge. That now I have swapped to a Cobra intake. 3 bars are coming. Tasteful mods for me. All right. So, you know, you guys are kind of getting the idea of the live stream. It's like the tasteful mods. They're kind of the most important thing. You know, the interior is huge. Fixing the little gangster lean in your seat. You can fix that. You could have somebody fix that. You got to take it apart. You know, a couple bolts on the side. You don't even have to actually remove it. If you're pretty handy with the ratchet, you don't even have to remove it from the car. You don't even have to remove the whole seat from the car. You can remove the top itself. You just unplug the vacuum for the lumbar, and you take the plastic little bezel off the latch, and you could take the top out of the car. You unzip the bottom. You know, you get up in there and you unlatch the headrest, and you can actually pull all the framing off. So fixing the gangster leans, that's a big one. You know, in the seats and cleaning them, getting them cleaned. It's pretty tasteful and it's pretty cheap. It's just requires time. Would you buy a modded car or a stock car if you were planning on keeping it and building it? A stock car. I would start with a clean canvas. I think you'll be hard pressed to find a bone stock Fox anyways. Most will have mods. Guess it will depend on how many mods. That's correct. It's a good one. I mean, we're really getting to the point to where supply and demand is pretty much taking over. You know, so many people want to have this idea, you know, as content creators and influencers or whatever you want to call us here on YouTube. I mean, we're just car guys, you know, starting with a blank canvas, you know, blank canvas is always a good thing to do, but, you know, not every, you know, if I was to be able to do something over again, I probably would just start with something new then too. So that's, I guess that's what it is. Format, man, I appreciate you becoming a new YouTube member for the channel. Appreciate you at all. Appreciate you all for what you guys do, man. I thought you were already in it though. Maybe it just expired. I know it does it every month. Got to buy up those 4-bangers. I'll tell you what, the price of 4-banger coops are going to go up because everybody's going to want to get a good clean shell. So anyways, we were talking about, like, you know, going back to not getting too much off track, you know, 10 things that can increase the value, you know, from shooting from the hip, like we've been talking about the whole time, is paint, you know, wheels and tires, even 4 or 5 lug. It doesn't really matter. But if you really kind of want to get a good kind of budget, you know, you do the 5 lug swap, at least in the front with the spindles and the brakes and whatever. Oh, all right. That's what I thought. I thought you were already a member there. But I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for the upgrade. The trim pieces, it's just it's the knick-knack stuff. You know, the console, the door handles, the door hinges. You take your door and it hangs. You know, the trim. I mean, I don't know how many mirrors that are just literally so like beat from like the sun, and all the trim is just like this matte black, and it's not even close to what it originally was colored. You know, headlights, weather stripping, quarter windows. You could restore quarter windows on the car, you know, if you tape it off right. It is what it is. Paint correction is always an option. And that's a really good way to put it, Tom. If fresh paint isn't in the cards to increase the value, paint correction, that's a good one. Instead of calling it like a repaint, it's just paint correction. In the process of 351 5-lug swap and 93 2.3, there's a lot to it to get everything right. That's correct. Yes, sir. Thanks for all the helpful hints and advice, man. I appreciate that, Matt. So they got to see, the members got to see a video, about 2 or 3 days ago on the we were on the dyno. We already went to the dyno with Dad's car with the 24s and got some crazy stuff going on there. It was about a 2-minute video, 1.5-minute video of when I say these motors are built for tough. You guys will see it this week. They're built for tough, bro. I threw together like one of the sections of the video that I shot from the dyno, and it's really crazy. You guys would be surprised on what we did with that speed density. Just on the new stuff, baby. So where we at? Who's that? So broken and missing ground effect spat pieces. What else did I have on here? Leaks from the motor and the transmission. Like a lot of you guys don't understand, man. You got the little rear main seal. When you guys replace a rear main seal, you should probably take your flywheel bolts off and reseal them with thread sealant. So that'll fix a lot of the oil leaks that you have. So what happened the last time you tried 24s? See, let me explain that here in a second. Sly Fox, I appreciate the $4.99 super chat, my dude. Appreciate you supporting the channel tonight. I thank you so much. So last time I used 24s, we tried it on a stock block, and it just ran like shit. It just smoked. It was too rich for a stock block. Now, would 24s work on a stock block mass? Yes. Mass air? Yeah. You know, it would work fine. Do you need 24s to make power? No. As you guys seen in Dad's car, what's this? As you guys seen in Dad's car, you know, 19s cap out at about 340. Like, you're not going to cap out on a stock bottom end, no matter what HCI you run on the top of that motor, you're not going to go past 300. Yeah, whatever. You're not going to cap 19s out. And 24s aren't that big of an upgrade to where if you're with a stroker motor, you should be rolling at least like 30s to get started, if not even 42s. Because a stroker motor is going to want to eat. So it's going to be upper level 300 range when you get up on the dyno. So you kind of want to skip. That's why 24s aren't very, I'm not a big fan of 24s, but we did it on the speed density car because it was just this much. I think the fuel correction on the speed density was like 10%. And if you do your math, it's about 23 pounds-ish. That makes sense? So that's why we went ahead and said, well, we'll put 24s in and see what happens. I agree all the interior little pieces broken. So little things mean the most, you know, with your value of your Foxbody. And it's, you know, I'm lazy. My door handle right here in this car is broken. Like literally, I have to open it a certain way. Stupid. I'm just lazy. I need to get that fixed. What's your opinion on using an offset rear main seal instead of using a crank sleeve? I don't think I've ever used an offset one. I just used a crank sleeve, put a new quality rear main seal in it, and we always thread sealed the flywheel bolts. I should be able to see that video from the dyno. Now, yes, if you're a club member, you can see the little 1.5-minute video I did for just the members last week. I told them all you can't say anything until after the video comes out. It's funny. It's going to be part of the actual video, so I always do some things like that. Got to go to work. Break is over. Man, I appreciate your support, Matt. Thanks for stopping in. I think my car is starting to misfire, popping, loss of power. Where should I start? Misfire, well, obviously your plug wires, cap and rotor. If it starts to misfire badly, it could be an injector. And could even be as bad as the distributor in a TFI. Yes, so Frogman 4-eyed parts are definitely hard to come by. Any idea when the dyno day will be? Well, listen, this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Not so much tonight, but we'll add that to the live stream. If you guys want to do a dyno day where you want me and Dave Dalk or the mad scientist and Kevin Cragen over at, you know, the Irishman over at the TI dyno, if you guys want us to dyno your car and you want to make the trip and you guys want to do a day, we'll set a day in the fall where you could bring your car up and we could tune it. So, you know, you're looking at anywhere between $600 and $900, depending on what you need to tune your car. And obviously we're going to probably I'm going to pre-qualify your car. What I mean by that is make sure that you got everything kind of the best you can, have it ready for the dyno. That way we're not spending a whole lot of time trying to fix your car or tweak your car. See what I mean? So like maybe on a way to adjust boost. If you have a boosted application, you know, you have your pulleys ready. If you're a supercharger or if you're turbo, you got, you know, a manual boost controller and the proper spring pressures. You see what I mean? So there's like a little laundry list of things that I've learned from these cars that I can pretty much get you pre-qualified. That way when you come in, we just tune you for a couple hours and then you get you, you know, and then you just hang out and have fun. So we can pick a day. I have my stock Explorer engine over 600 wheel now. Do you plan on push Dad's car beyond this? Kind of. What did Hannah say? GSF, perfect. Sorry, I was out of the office Friday. I was playing on the dyno. Yeah. So Hanlon got a little Coyote swap on his purposely built. Now it's a purposely built Coyote stock LX. He's got beautiful car. I think what'd you put down? You was well into the fours, weren't you? Stephen King, I just spent $200 on a new front seat belt. Hated spending that BS, but needed it. I could understand that. So, what we talked about, I think of all the things that we talked about tonight to increase your car's value. I probably think that paint would probably be the best. But see, here's the thing: you don't have to paint your car. Like if you have a good paint on your Foxbody and it's just dull, you'd be surprised at what some of those chemicals can bring that car back to shine with a good buffer or whatever. If it's got a good, you know, and there's something to be said about a patina look as well. There's something to be said at this point in this age. You know, if you got a car that's original paint that's not all beat up, just leaving it the way it is. 460 horsepower, 440 torque. Man, that's smoking, bro, on a Coyote swap. All right, Jimmer, it's good seeing you, man. Good seeing you. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think some of the other things that can increase your, let me hear from you guys, increase your Foxbody's value in 2022? I want to do a Coyote swap, but it's hard to get a good roller. I get it. And I appreciate that, Frank James. Good to see you. What else is on the list? I talked about the painting the trim and the mirrors. We talked about wheels and tires. Obviously, that's a big subject in itself. You know, 5-lug swapping and you know, stance. Clean title's a good one. Clean title's a good one. Yes, sir. So now you guys heard mine. I want to hear what you guys have to say as far as the list. There we go. Your guys' favorite piece. Number 1, clean title. That's a good one. Give me another good one. I think that removing old faded tint makes a difference. That's situational though, but I get it. I get it. What's something that can increase to remove smog or leave it? That's also situational because not everybody needs smog. And if you were to say, yeah, remove it increases the value, but keep it decreases the value or whatever, you know, these cars may have to have it in their county. So you can't really say that. I don't run smog or AC, but I also live in Ohio in a county that doesn't require it. So, I mean, it gets hot here, but it don't get nothing like, you know, 5-lug swap, seats factory versus aftermarket. Seats factory versus straight body lines. Yeah. Straight body lines. Good one. Now, straight body lines can actually come from you just adjusting your car. There's ways to adjust your hood, which Brutal showed you that recently. There's ways to adjust your fender here and here, and get this to stick, like stick correctly. You can adjust your door. There's all kind of things you can do. That's a good one, man. Straight body lines, clean title, straight body lines. I'm just gonna hold this up like this, like a beatbox, bro. Keeping the AC. Oh, what's up, Auto Fox 50? Man, I appreciate you joining the membership. Thanks for joining the membership. You can go watch that video now. Okay, so power windows, locks, and cruise control working. I like that one too. Working amenities. Is that? Can I say that word like that? I don't even know. I'm trying to act smart here. So power steering, power locks, cruise, etc. Wow, that's a good one. Working amenities. Good radiator support. Oh, man, that's another good one. Yes. Good rad support. Yes, because that tells you a story. Like, if there's one thing that I mean, I could have the, you know what? Going back to Infamous Project again, Chris's video with the Celine car. Like, that car was absolutely beautiful, and then he gets underneath it with the video camera, and it's like that whole core support is mangled, and it's like, oh, it's just like, oh. It's almost like you feel bad for the car. But that's a good one. Good rad support, because everybody in their back, I don't know how long, would use the rad support to pull the car around, and that thing is flimsy, dude. Like, no way. So that almost tells you, a question about watch underneath body rust. Stop getting rid of the original 5.0 patch. Good glass in the car. So the scratches in the glass usually come from the dew strip. So that could go hand in foot with what I was talking about earlier, with changing the dew strips and changing the weather stripping and stuff like that, because that'll scratch your glass. Watch for underneath body rust. So fixing the underneath body rust. Okay. Fixing rust problems. That's a good one. No leaks will help the value. Yes. So we just talked about that, though. I put that on my list. So I got my list and I got y'all list. Yes. And I put on there leaks, transmission leaks, and like rear main, flywheel bolts leaking, rear of the trans leaking, the differential cover leaking. It's a maintenance thing, fellas. If you ain't changed your differential cover and you had your Mustang for more than like 2 years, you probably should do that. That oil's got a timestamp on it, even though it'll still work. All rad supports are mangled. No kidding. Headlights, taillights, I talked about the trims. The visors are a good one. That's actually a parasitic loss for your battery. You'd be surprised on how many flaps on the 9093 visors that stay on because the button's messed up. Closing and opening doors, working gauges, gauge cluster trim. Havoc's working. That's a lot of good stuff. All lights working, exterior, interior. I'll take that one. All lights working. Interior, exterior. See, this is a really good stream for those who are, looking for, if you're about ready to buy a Foxbody, you know what I mean? This is the stuff you want to look for. So vert, the top on a vert, I'm going to add that because it's very important. If there ain't nothing that'll discredit a good convertible, then a ripped ass top. And those are terrible to replace. So ripped top on a vert, or needing a new top, whatever. Keeping your fluids to date, that's a good one. Spare tire there, where we at? LED swap, That's actually a good idea. Spare tire there, nothing missing, slight plus. That's right. How about a clean brake reservoir? That's a good one. No dash, check engine lights, 3-piece headlights, original headliner, shifted hatch. That goes with body lines, though. Somebody said body lines. Let's put that with body lines. Tops are awful to replace. Done. Yeah, I replaced all the gauge lights. So I did want to hit on that. Because somebody just mentioned it. Who else mentioned it? He said 3-piece headlights, and he said no check engine lights, and he said LED swap. So all 4 of those guys could be in their own category as upgraded illumination. Illumination. Is that cool? So upgraded illumination would be you can do the LEDs on the cluster. Now, I'm not talking about that crap that they put on there years ago. Remember those white faces that had all that stuff that literally burned your car down? I'm talking about you can buy the bulbs now, I think, right? And you could put the bulbs in. You could put the bulbs in like the back of the cluster, am I right? And I think there's LEDs for the front as well. And I'm not talking about the HD stuff with the ballast. You remember those too? Those were terrible. But I'm talking about the actual LED lights. So that would actually be a good one. And you could do that in the interior for the illumination or whatever. Let's do that. Yes. There you go, Nero. Upgraded illumination. Boom. 4 bolts holding the driver's seat. New heater core. Okay, so how would I do that one? Because that one's kind of important. No holes in the dash, gauge mounts, and switches or anything. Okay, so I'm not gonna the holes in my dash in the the monster tack that I got on my dash and that stuff like that. I mean, literally, when you're going, when you're running and you're racing a lot, you need that tack in your face, legitimately. So any guys that race will probably agree with what I'm trying to say. Fix your door sack, and I said that earlier. New heater core. Yep, bulbs are cheap and wait. You know what? I should do a video about that. The LED bulbs. I think Scott Rod makes LED bulbs for the cluster. LMR sells them, whatever. But I think you can get them cheaper. I think you can just piece them out and figure it out. Keeping all the maintenance records for the car since it's new. That's a tough one. Listen, if any Foxbody's got the original stuff, or even the original build sheet that's underneath the carpets, I bet y'all didn't know that. I've seen a lot of original build sheets come from underneath the carpet. Hey, I appreciate you, Sly Fox, on the $4.99 super chat, man. Have a good night. Scott Drake. It's not Scott Rod. Scott Drake. Thanks for the correction. Yes. Scott Drake, I think it was. Hamlin, that's correct. Y-face gauges are as bad as one piece. Yes, I do not. Give me a nice illuminated cluster. Throw some LEDs in the back of it. Makes a huge difference. And just give me the original stuff. Like the white face had its, the white face gauges had its phase. They weren't terrible. I actually still have them in my white car, but it is what it is. Ride quality. Yeah, I got my LEDs in a gauge cluster on Amazon for $15. Door and trunk weather stripping. We talked about that earlier, Frank. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. So the faded interior. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Let's call it smelly faded interior. So if you got a Foxbody, and it's hard to do this with a black interior because it's kind of tough. You could smell it, but it's kind of tough to see anything black, right? Faded, but definitely on the gray stuff, the titaniums and the smokes that we enjoy the most. That's a good one, Mike Champ. You could tell, like back in the 80s and the 90s, smoking was cool. I mean, smoking's fine anyways. It's you do what you want to do. You smoke, whatever. But it was really predominant to smoke anywhere in the 80s and 90s. There wasn't like any rules against it. So people would smoke in their Fox bodies quite often. And one of the biggest things that's actually happened to Fox bodies is the cigarette staining and fading of the actual interior. I don't know how many times I have restored consoles, and Cousin Paul can attest for it if he's sitting here in chat. And I know he is. The fading cigarette, I mean, literally changes the whole color of the interior. Like it looks almost like it just looks terrible. And when you start to actually restore the interior, and you almost have to do all of it. You have to do the dash, the console, the inner console, the armrest, the door panels, because you have to clean them really good and respray them, because it just gets to the point to where like they got that the tar buildup all over it. So it's I think that's a good one. Faded and smelly interior. And then you can actually take the carpet and have it clean. See what I mean? So it is what it is. Rip seats got to go. What would that build sheet be under the driver's seat? I'm not real sure. Not every Fox body is going to have it, but there's a lot of Fox bodies out there that if you find a big sheet of paper underneath of your, underneath of your carpet, that's your build sheet. It's cool. Some people did that. 650. Do the LED video. I was driving home the track the other day. I still have OG bulbs and realized dude. I am as clueless as everybody else is with LEDs. So, that would be a great video for me to learn. Jason Fields, man, I appreciate you coming in with that super chat again. One of my top donators to the channel, guy. I do appreciate you. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Cousin Paul, it's like a yellowish green. Yeah, it's real nasty. It's got brown in it. Like, especially where you're shifting the car, your cigarettes in your hand. Usually, I don't know how many consoles Cousin Paul's actually had to sand out and fill because there was like cigarette like pits in them where like a hot like amber, I don't know, where it fell off the cigarette and got on the plastic and just burned the shit out of it. Yeah, the air vents yellowed caused that back in the night. That's right. New shifter boot and bezel, aftermarket shifter upgrade. I'm currently redoing my entire interior. It's a job. Listen, NPD's got the best paint. They don't pay me to tell you that. I'm not going to say that. But Cousin Paul can attest to the titanium, the smoke, the reds, the black. We actually get the black from our paint shop. It's the Landau 15013. So we don't get that from NPD, but I'm sure it's pretty good. I think they sell the same thing. Yeah, so the gangster lean's a big one. I got to get one more. Let me get one more out of you guys. So I got these. Clean title, straight body lines. That includes the hatch. Working amenities like the power steering, power locks, cruise. A good rad support. What does Neo Mustang mean? Never asked. It's Northeast Ohio. Speaking of smoking, I've been quit for 6 days. Man, keep it up, Slow Fox. Just keep it up. Listen, the hardest part is the first week. The hardest part's the first week. I never smoked, but I've had my battles with tobacco as well. It's not uncommon. Turning signals that require resistor in each bulb in order to function properly, though. You talk about LEDs? Paint, that is. What did Sean say? I found that LMR sand beige is junk. Yeah, so isn't their titanium. It's purple. Remember, they are reverse polarity. I used to stash. There we go. No exhaust leaks. Let's go with no exhaust leaks. That's a big one. Now, in an age that we're going to go over 10 here because somebody else, I can't stand exhaust leaks. And let me tell you what the worst thing is going up to try to buy a Fox body and they got cherry bombs on it. Bruh. Cherry bombs. Oh, I hate cherry bombs. I hate cherry bombs. All right. No exhaust leaks. Sunroof, definitely sunroof not leaking. I'm down with that. Quad shocks are a good sign no one has messed around there. Yep. Including no holes in the exhaust. So the exhaust leaking is just, dude, that would drive me crazy. Like I spend a lot of time making sure that no matter what my turbos, what's going on with my turbo systems, it's, you know, we made videos where I plane the, you know what I mean, making sure that my flanges are flat. Dude, I did that with my dad's car. Not 1 decibel of leak comes from any of my headers or my, remember I did that video? Not 1 decibel. I know it's a little bit loud, but I can tell. Any maintenance that is, what did War Admiral say? Just skipped me. Any maintenance that is deemed a headache, hard to do, water pump. Settle down on that sunroof, Stephen King. Okay, so floor pans can go with the rust that I said earlier on my list. Rust fixes, and so didn't Smurf it. But like, you know, the floor pans, nothing will discredit a Foxbody. What's the first thing you would do if you bought a Foxbody? What's the first thing you did when you came up to it? You looked under it. So floor pans would be a really good one. That would, I mean, you looking at the torque boxes. Let me put that on there. Who said that? Torque boxes. There you go. Superfly. Good one, boy. Torque box and pans. What's the first thing you did when you walked up and you bought your Foxbody? You looked at these things. Because your torque box is all beat up from jack stands and jacks, or just having their butt kicked from 30 years old or dumping the clutch. And usually the floor pans aren't very strong to begin with. So like maybe there was a larger guy that owned the Mustang and it was heavier set or whatever, not knocking anybody, but it could be anything. Just the floor pans just fatiguing in the back, you know. Welcome back. We're back. We're back. Well, after this conversation, I don't feel so good about my car. Nah, man, come on. We just shooting the shit about Fox bodies. Pinch welds, yes, that's a good one. Pinch weld. Paul DeFox just did a video about pinch welds, and so didn't Brutal, I think. The Russians are back. Am I fuzzy? Are we good? I still see chat rolling. Are we good? There we go. Are we super fuzzy, or I got to do that mic check thing again? Mine was 8 months old when I got it too, so I had no worries then. Okay. The Russians are back. Let's see if I make this. Not even close. So, anyways, all right, we clear. I got it playing on my other way. Yeah, I think the last live stream, I think it was last week or was the week before. I spent the last like 15 minutes like fuzzy, and somebody said, "Why are you fussy?" I'm like, "I'm not fussy. What are you talking about?" I didn't even realize that he meant fuzzy, and it didn't make any sense to me. And then I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh, strut towers, front frame rails." Okay, so what did we learn today? Some of these things don't have nothing to do with modding, but some of them have something to do with modding. So, you know, in the end of the day, you know, most of our guys, you know, most of us don't want to get rid of our Fox bodies and probably never will. But, you know, you got to have that attaboy number in your head on what you think your car is worth. And, you know, you're not going to throw money at something and not fully expect it to hold its value. You know what I mean? It's just not the way we play the game. You know what I mean? So we came up with a lot of stuff today. And a lot of that stuff, to be honest with you, man, a lot of that stuff don't cost a lot of money. Painting, yes. $5 swapping and new wheels, yeah. But Paul says, pick that. He gonna pick it up. He'll pick it up in the morning. Cousin Paul, come on, dog. So we got another car. We got a couple cars that's coming to the channel. If you guys don't know who Smurfit is, you see the blue car here in the little tag. That's Cousin Paul's wife, and she's also part of the channel, quite a bit part of the channel with the videography and stuff. So shout out to her and Cousin Paul, of course. And their car right there, that car's actually gone now. It's a pop can, but it was pretty mangled up. But we used every bit of that car to build another one for her, so it's going to be really awesome. We learned after this stream that my Foxbody's ready for the scratch. Yeah. A good sounding running motor. Yes. I'm going to actually put that on there, Robert. That's a good one. A stock or not, a well-mannered, I'm running out of space, motor. And what I mean by, I scribble and I'm terrible. Like a well-mannered motor means that whether modified or stock, starts up, revs up, comes down to 1,000, settles at 800. Doesn't have a big miss to it, and motor's not doing this, and you get what I'm saying. I feel like Pablo Tussin wouldn't agree with half of this list. He probably wouldn't. Listen, Tussin is killing it on his channel right now. I enjoy watching him. Breaking them T5s, man. I feel the woe, man. I feel the woe for sure. But he builds his T5s about the same I do mine with all the extra support stuff. And you guys can see. I mean, if you've seen anything from, make any sort of crossover transition between my channel and his channel with the T5s, is they could take a beating. If you got the ability and the skill to go ahead and fix it, and it's pennies on the dollar if you can, stack those extra parts up. But I mean, they're not that bad. Vacuum leaks suck. That's correct. I love buying the ones that hurt engine or trans. Fix that real quick. Now, I don't know how many Foxbodies me and Cousin Paul's brought home, and I literally got the car running. The guy couldn't get the car running at all. And I literally went under the driver's seat, knew the fuel pump wasn't priming, and found that the green fuel pump relay under the seat, 87 to 91, had wires sticking out or beat up or whatever, because they get pretty corroded under there. So anyway, we got a couple more minutes on the channel. We got a couple more minutes. All right, Treetop Tom, I appreciate you stopping in, my man. Appreciate you being part of the channel and being part of the club membership. I'll see you in the members chat. I think that right now we are in a no-lose situation. The cars are pushing values close to what the price is to buy new. I agree. That's why I don't think you guys at this point, when we're talking about values of cars, like I was talking about tonight, being a content creator, being an influencer of the Foxbody genre, with my small, well, not small audience, but we don't have tens of thousands and thousands of people on our channel, and that's okay because it's a very niche, very focused channel. But I can tell you that being a content creator and influencer, that I'm not here to try to influence larger values in cars. I'm not here to influence you to spend money on cars that you don't want to spend. I'm just saying that, if anything, you can get something from the channel that might make you look or think twice, about what you're going to do to make your car worth a little bit more in value and be more, in the end, it's all about what the car is worth to you. You know what I mean? Some of us are, crazy with modifications. Some of us are crazy and meticulous with paint and trim and exterior, interior. And we all struggle with that line. You know what I mean? With that, we got to be fast. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be awesome. You know what I mean? So what's up, Nicholas? Out it late to the party, man. We're just about to head out. But yeah, I see you next week, Neil. All right, Cameron, it's good to see you. Off subject, I want to buy a hat and shows none at merch stores. Okay, so if you guys are interested in buying some merch, I'm actually in the process tomorrow of ordering new merch. So we are at Neomustangs at hotmail.com. Just mail me. I actually sent dozens out this past week. I got some going out to my members this week. I talked to them in the chat. So if you're interested in checking out hats and some merch, hit me up there. They're all vinyl. This is actually screen print. It sucks. But they're all vinyl. All my stuff is vinyl with premium Gildan shirts. So not done painting as it sits. 410 TKO 600 standalone ECU. I wouldn't take a dime less. I wouldn't want you to. That's for sure. What days are you going to be at Chocolate Fox? Chocolate Fox is 12/13, right? So I'm going to probably be down there on Thursday. That way I can chill, just enjoy myself Friday. And then I don't even know what the events are going on, really. I better get my ticket. I got to get a hold of Fox Resto and let them know I'm coming down there. But anyways, what do we got coming up this week for videos? We got that dyno video with those 24s, and we got a T5 video I think I'm going to release this week. I know it's not popular stuff, but I do appreciate you guys if you, in the first couple hours, if you get a chance to watch the videos, even though it's not might not be interesting, that does help the channel quite a bit. But I do have a pretty cool T5 video that's coming out this week as well. The Fox is priceless because it's mine. You're right. I want to put a request for Neo Mustang leather boxers. What? Let's always remember what's important. For us lovers of the Fox, it's priceless. That's right. That's right. It's priceless, my man. So would a 351 hurt the value of a Fox? Actually, no. If going back to my number 12 well-mannered motor that goes for a 351, if the 351 runs as good as the 302 did, that's who's telling how much more that would be. You know what I mean? We could hit Friday night at the Grove. What's that mean, Hanlon? Is that like a drag strip? Dude, I'm all in. I'm all in the race. Chris Gardner, man, I appreciate you becoming part of the channel membership. Guys, if you want to check out that join button, check it out below. You get free access to all my videos, and I actually chat quite a bit on there. Come up with some ideas, and we do polls and stuff like that. Check out all new members in the house. Hey, Nathan Tuck. I think Nathan Tuck. Let me check. Let me shout him out real quick, my man. Let me go look. I want to say Nathan Tuck has been the longest running member of the channel. Let me see. Wow. Oh, he's got you beat. Nathan Tuck is by Christian Roy has got you beat by a month. But you are the highest tier, longest running member of the channel, dude, and I super appreciate you. Nathan Tuck himself, right there. Nathan Tuck himself. So I got you. You did get the email for that merch, right? Yes, sir. Maple. So is that a Friday night? Is there like a test and tune that night that we can go to, Andrew? Are you going to race your car too? Hey, all right, Frank James. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out. When are you new? Okay. It's because this channel is the shit, man. I appreciate you, Slow Fox. I appreciate you. Actually, Slow Fox is one of our Fox Days of Christmas winners. What did you win, Slow Fox? You won something pretty significant. It was like the camshaft or something? I can't remember. Night all, Smurfit. Okay, so, guys, I want to make a big shout out before Smurfit leaves that, Cousin Paul, if you see him in the videos, you see him here in the chat. He's a very, very important part of our what we do here, and so shout out to him. He's also my for real cousin, and I love him like a brother. Sometimes I'm really hard on him, and he wants to throw wrenches at me, and he does throw wrenches at me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, I got. What do you guys think of the shorts? Before I go, not the short videos, but the we don't really make any money on the short videos. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like the little 60-second things that you put up. They're like Instagram reels or whatever. I just want you guys to know that there's really no monetization for that. So I'm not doing them to make money. I'm doing them just maybe to attract a little more attention to the channel, and they're fun. You can still get subscribers from it, but it's not really a big analytic on YouTube or whatever. So what do you guys think of that? I think I did the wiper motor one, which I already did a video on that, but it was really kind of cool. It's just like a 60-second thing or whatever. Yo, the long shifter. Okay, yeah, that was a good one, man. That was a good one. Neo, yeah, there should be a TNT that Friday night. We can hit that. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, I'm going to need time to switch it back and forth. You know what I mean? I need about an hour to take the wheels and change them over and stuff. Keep them short videos coming. They are great. The video series with Dad's Car is the best series on YouTube right now. I mean, I appreciate that. So, like, you guys are going to be super. Like, War Admiral actually seen, since he's a member of the channel, he actually seen what we did. And it's I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I have no idea. I will leave you in suspense. How there's not parts all over the ground. Say, if you stayed this long in the live chat, I'm going to let you know that. Yeah, I'm going to do, when the weather starts to break, I'm going to do some, like, shorts would be cool for, like, burnout stuff. Maybe riding down the strip, you know, over here and like a sunset. You see what I mean? Just cool stuff. Just cool stuff that's just dumb and easy, and you know, it doesn't waste anybody's time. You can check it out, and I can post it on Instagram. You know what I mean? So just to kind of grow the channel. You want to hear the beast? All right. You want to hear my car? Let's see. Can you all hear this? Probably hear my fuel. Like a clock. Notice I got a little header leak coming. Now y'all want to hear a two-step? Oh boy. Y'all E85 up in here. How it smells. Let me crack this open before I pass out. Woo! Probably should have opened the door first. Woo! It's burning my eyes now. Get the stepping. Yeah, we always have a good time. With the doors closed, Neil's going to get lit. Nah, we're good. It's not that rich. Y'all had to stir him up. Hey, I don't want to hear it, dude. I was at the steak place, and we're driving through. Was that the steak place? We were trying to get steaks down at Longhorn Texas Roadhouse. Where were we at? Down there, Foxtoberfest. And I was right behind Chris at Vengeance Clutch, and we were driving through because there was just a million people there. And I two-stepped that shit. I think I had some people running around the building, bro. It was pretty cool, man. All right. Hey, Tommy, I appreciate the $20 super chat, dude. I appreciate it. That'll go for the $20 in gas I just blew on the two-step. That's just kidding. It's an E85. All right, so first time I egged him on outing that car on the limiter, though it was going to jail. It all works. Hey, look, I'm trying to put an 6AL2 in there, though, so I can get rid of the little two-step box, and I can actually, I need to retard the timing, or back the timing off, or whatever you want to say, so I can build more boost at the line. So we cut a was it a 130, 160? We did all right last year. $20K subscriber gets it. Man, I'm going to give you guys a burnout 3, 4, 5 times this year. You guys are going to be bored of turn. You know what else I'm doing with the shorts? With the actual shorts, not the... I don't know if I'm going to upload like a 1-minute video so I can get ad revenue, or if I'm just going to do it on the shorts section to where it doesn't really mess with anybody's notifications. But when I'm at the track, it's usually about 60 seconds it takes people to back up into the water box, make a burnout, and make a hit. So that would make for a really good short, you know what I mean? And just label it real quick and just list it. So I might do a lot of that this year. You guys might see a lot of that on the channel just to show some cool shit on the channel instead of actually making a 10-minute video about it. You see what I mean? So that's where I kind of headed at. So love that E85 that didn't come home smelling like that's right. Yeah, we did it was a 130, 133. Like we 127 was the best 60 we got on the white car. But 133, when we went the 970 in the black car, it was 3,400 pounds. We left at a 133.60, and we trapped like 146, and it wasn't even turned up past 700. So TKX did its job. I'm handing Neo the keys to my car in Chocolate Fox. We are going for a ride. I know he ain't scared. No. I'm sure old Hamlin will want to do another good old boys run in the old black car. This time I might let him drive it. Boy, if you wreck my car, I swear I'll have better tires and a bigger turbo housing this year. So, and probably a fresh paint job. Granted, it gets done, but I'm hoping to have it done before Mustang week. So, anyways, guys, I got to get off. We got to get ready for work. So, yeah, E85 killing me. It's funny. Make sure you look around who's going his first. You might end up in the tube video. Yeah, we had 3 Terminators chasing us. It was fun. Anyways, guys, I want to just tell you, thanks everyone for staying on. We went about an hour and 45 minutes. Usually we try to keep it at around an hour 15, but we were having a good time. So I hope you guys appreciate the what we got going on, and make sure you guys you have a good week too, Nathan. So make sure you guys check out the videos that are coming up this week, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you enjoy the live chats. So guys, I appreciate everybody who has donated to the channel tonight, on all the club members and the super chats. Big shout out to Mike Straminsky. Big shout out to Nathan Tuck for being one of the top donators to the channel on the membership. So guys, I mean, here it is again. This is what we accomplish in live streams. These are just really good. So those who are watching it to the end or whatever, that didn't listen, that listened to my me ramble about my list, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right there, guys. Anyways, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and click it off. I will see you guys soon this week in the next video. Thank you, everyone, for coming in.